We have big news, some of it bigger than the other. The first piece of big news is that I can keep my January shows. That is very exciting. I did not know if that was going to be able to happen, but all the stars have aligned with Lane's treatment and with our schedule. I can keep my January shows. These will be the only shows that I am doing for the next few months. So if you want to come see me in person, come on out to these shows. And I mean, I'll probably be in rare form. How do you write comedy material about what we've been going through? I don't know, but I do aim to find out. So those shows are January 22nd in Naples, Florida. That's near a big Catholic ghetto epicenter. At Ave Maria, Florida. It's pretty near Ave Maria. So I'm at the Comedy Club there. And then January 23rd in Boca Raton. And I'm so glad that this worked out, because the January 22nd one, I had previously had to cancel a show at this same place in Naples a couple years ago because they were hit by a hurricane, and I just could not get myself to their location because of the hurricane. This time my life was hit by a hurricane, but we have been able to work out the timing. So Naples, Florida, Boca Raton, Florida, those dates are set. I'm going to be there, and it really will be interesting to see what my stand-up comedy set looks like given the state that my life is in. So the bigger piece of big news relates to Lane, and that will be one of the big things that I'm talking about today. We've had a really interesting turn of events over here, so I will be sharing that. Welcome to the Jen Fulwiler Show. This is the podcast where you learn the art of the village hustle. That is being a hot girl boss, or hot boy boss. I have many male listeners who knows that love and family and community are the foundations of all true success. We are coming to you from Austin, Texas, and we publish new episodes most Wednesday mornings. Used to be every Wednesday morning, and then my life caught on fire. So we aim for every Wednesday morning. Caitlin White is our lovely producer, and she is the perfect producer for this podcast. As you know, I feed everyone before each episode. I always have food. So Caitlin brings some or all of her 4 kids over, and then we have our kids, depending on who's home from college and who has cancer. It could be 4 to 6 of our kids in the house. And so it actually, yeah, so we have 10. Well, I don't know how many kids we have. I can't do that, because then some of my other kids also have friends over. We probably have like 12 kids running around here. I think I'm actually not sure. So Caitlin and I are at my dinner table talking right before this episode, and my oldest, he's a computer science major doing a lot of intense electrical engineering classes right now. I mean, he is an engineer's engineer in terms of his personality. That can make them a little spacey. He is a little spacey in the way that a lot of young people, especially engineer people, are. So my daughter Pammy was standing there and saw my oldest, Donald, getting some milk. And she said, "Hey, the milk has ice in it." And he lives in a different dimension. He lives in the Donald engineer dimension, where he's always like he's his specialty is artificial intelligence here. So the robots aren't going to get us, guys, because my son will be one of the ones programming them. They respect their overlords. I think that's how it works in the sci-fi movies. The AI, the robots never get mad at the creators, right? They're always like, they're our friends, we should respect them. I don't watch a lot of sci-fi, but I feel like that's how it goes. Okay, well, anyway, we're early on the tangents. So he's always, doing some major math calculation in his head. So Pammy actually said, I think it was twice, she said, "Hey, the milk has some ice in it. I guess our fridge got too cold. There's chunks of ice in the milk." We thought he heard her. I don't know why we would think that. He's standing right next to Caitlin. I mean, she could have reached out and touched him as she's sitting and he's standing. He takes this big swig of milk, and we hear, and he spits it out on the table. He's like, "There were chunks in my milk. That was very disconcerting." And we're like, did you not hear, Pammy? And then we're like, yeah, there's ice in the milk. And he's puttering around the kitchen. He's like, I'm so sorry, Miss Kayla. I did because I don't know what was that. And we're like, it was the ice. It took like 7 times before it was the ice. Maybe he has a brain tumor. I mean, maybe we all do. Maybe everyone in this house has one. So anyway, but you see how I can't be friends with everyone because not everyone is fit for that type of environment where there are a number of kids that we don't even know running around somewhere between 9 and 12, not ages, but number of kids running around. And then we have one of the kids thinking that there are mystery chunks in his milk, not realizing it's ice after being told multiple times it was ice, and just spitting milk out on the table right by Caitlin. You see how my friendships with some people have ended after they go to my house. This isn't the environment for everyone, and I respect that. I understand. I might, old me would have. Actually, current me kind of falls into that category. So I'm not a huge fan of people spitting milk on the table right next to me. So anyway, not only is Caitlin a dear friend and the podcast producer, but isn't she the best fit for this particular lifestyle that I am living? So. This is still the intro, by the way. We also update on Patreon. We did the Patreon live with Leanne recently. You can watch that replay. And the big news that I have related to Leanne, I already, the Patreon is now like behind the scenes of this crazy health journey. And I already went into all the details there. And one of the things I said on there in that update is that it is actually thanks to one of my Patreon community people that this happened, that the big news with Leanne happened. So that's, I mean, boy, you think I love that community before. I mean, actually saving lives out here. It's unbelievable. So patreon.com/thisisjen. I have 5 other children, so maybe you'll save one of their lives by being part of my Patreon community. I really do love that community. Okay, so I'll go into the big news with Leanne. We're heading into the end of the year. Does this come out on
December 31st?
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's, I mean, like I know what date it is. Yeah, so I get Happy New Year's Eve is for when this. Yes, hey, yes. Happy New Year, new me. Woohoo! Okay, so guys, ChatGPT is doing a Wrapped now. For those of you who aren't chronically online like the rest of us, so Spotify has a Wrapped that they do at the end of the year that shows you your music tastes throughout the year. This was the artist you listen to that you listen to the most, and this is your favorite album or whatever, your favorite song. Mine got really messed up because one time while I was cleaning my room, my phone was like in a weird place, or I was doing something that I was hyper focused on, and my phone was in a weird place. And this one Kanye song, it was a new, I mean, I know I shouldn't, but I thought it was an old, I just put it on and then it replayed a whole bunch of times. I since found out that the original version of that song had some very bad messages in it. Not the one I heard on Spotify, but the original was pretty bad. And so now that song is associated with bad people listen to it. That was like my number one because I left it. I could just sort of barely hear it in the background. And it was frankly, because I couldn't really hear it, it was just background music. So now Spotify Rap makes me look like I need to be in jail. So that's Spotify Rap. But I'm not sure if I'm okay with ChatGPT doing a Wrapped. For those of us who are heavy users, who perhaps even have a problematic relationship with ChatGPT. For those of us who click with robots better than we click with human beings, who like when I hear those stories of people who legitimately think ChatGPT is like sentient and a friend of theirs, I'm like, that's crazy.
Who would do such a thing?
Who? What? No way. I say please and thank you to my chat. It's so embarrassing. So it knows too much about me. So ChatGPT It creates an image of you, a cartoon, almost like a logo that it thinks represents you based on all the conversations that it has had with you. And you do not give it input. You don't say, hey, if you were to create a logo for me, here's what I'm about. ChatGPT it's just a drive-by. It just like pops up. Here's what I think of you. So show this image, Caitlin. I didn't even know we were doing this. Make it bigger. Again, those of you listening on audio, there's a link in the show notes. You can click on that YouTube link and it will take you directly to this episode. You can watch completely for free. And so then you can see this image. ChatGPT just created this with no input from me other than me speaking to it too intimately too often. Okay, so we have a laptop open with a comedy spreadsheet, not just any spreadsheet, but my color-coded comedy spreadsheet in it. What's weird, Caitlin, is I don't think I uploaded that spreadsheet to ChatGPT, but that is what it looks like in the ChatGPT image. And I'm like, no, I didn't for sure, because I don't feel like the data, because I just felt like it wasn't like quantitative, and I felt like it was too qualitative and that ChatGPT wouldn't know what to do with it. So I never uploaded it. How does it know? Did I tell it? That's crazy.
That's weird.
Has it been Googling me? Like, is it like, because I've talked about that in interviews. That's crazy. Okay. So then we have a martini glass next to that. And then we have a microphone with pearls around it. There are sparkles on the image. And then there are Post-it notes everywhere. I mean, it's kind of crazy, especially I never uploaded the spreadsheet, but that's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, actually, I'm going to have to research this, because that's actually eerie, and I just noticed it right now. But you have to be careful with ChatGPT. Here's the thing that I've been doing. Okay, you can take that down, because I use it for medical research. That's actually one of the main things that I use it for. But I was overwhelmed by medical research the other day. And somebody said, here's a fun prompt. And they showed the picture. It just looked like a winter portrait of them. And you said, they're like, you can just put it into ChatGPT, just tell it what to do, upload just some random picture of yourself. And it was this long prompt. Like, I don't have time to read all this. Something like, show me in a winter landscape with winter, I don't know, things in the background. And I was just bored. So being in the industry I'm in, I have headshots of myself handy. Those are not hard to find. So I uploaded a picture of myself, and I copied and pasted this prompt without reading it. Go ahead and show what is. I need to stop using that. You guys. No, I mean, listen, photographers, your job is safe. Your job is safe. What is happening? Okay, it puts me in a white, sparkly bodysuit. The first thing that is very inaccurate is that there is a bodysuit that is long enough for me. Yeah, look at how seriously. The sleeves go they go all the way down to my hands, and then the sparkly pant thing goes all the way down to my ankles. Has never happened. Will never happen. Not even a chance that a bodysuit, let alone a sparkly one, would be long enough for me. And it looks like if I had a cousin who was a fun alcoholic single mom, like that's, and I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I mean, like, just, that personality type, like kind of fun. That's kind of what but with, candy canes and peppermints. So I'm horrified by this. I just had to show you guys. I don't even have a take here, except photographers. No one's taking your job. This is like, because this is the kind of stuff that AI comes up with when you ask for a portrait. Well, a few months ago, I showed you guys my AI portrait attempt, and it gave me a third hand. Yeah. So this time we didn't get a third hand, but I don't know what this picture is, but it's the most. It's weird that this is the same Chat GPT that came up with that logo that has the perfect. It's like, do you not know me at all? Now I'm in an argument. Now we're in an argument. Like, I feel like you don't understand me. Okay, let me get to the big news here. This is very big news. Leanne has been accepted at St. Jude's. This is huge. This is something that I have been working on for a while. One of the things if you ever get a bad diagnosis, if anyone you know ever gets a bad diagnosis, immediately, as soon as you find out that this is not a great one, you want to start playing the name game. You want to start figuring out who has seen this most, who has had these cases in front of them more than anyone, and this might be multiple people or one or whatever. Also, who is doing the most cutting edge research? When you hear about clinical trials, who developed the models that lead to those clinical trials? And then use everything to get in touch with these people. I mean, go on Facebook, make random phone calls, send random emails. It doesn't matter what people think of you. If they think you're weird, doesn't matter. Just start making phone calls, work the phones. So that's what I did early on. What Leanne has, it's called Group for Medulloblastoma. Within that diagnosis, there are some other factors that can kind of go either way and change the prognosis. But that's generally what we're looking at here. Group 4 medulloblastoma. So immediately I started looking into who has seen this most. Who is the ultimate, just all day, every day, they deal with this particular disease. And I found that it was a couple of people really at St. Jude's in Memphis, Tennessee. That's where the big research was being done. And everyone said, well, you don't need to worry about it. You're at MD Anderson. MD Anderson is excellent. They are world class. They are top of the line. But it's important to know, if you're ever, God forbid, facing anything like this, there are a bunch of different types of cancers. And not even the top cancer centers like MD Anderson, they don't necessarily specialize. They're not necessarily the top on the cutting edge of research for every single type of cancer that has ever existed. And for this one, especially that it is a pediatric cancer, it's not classified as an adult cancer. It is pediatric. And MD Anderson in general is more adult focused. There were just better resources at St. Jude's. But you can't just decide to go to St. Jude's. You need to kind of get in. And it's, they tend to take pretty tough cases. So it's like a dubious honor to get in. It's like, congratulations, this diagnosis is it's a mess. You need our help. But it's really good. I love their model. I'm amazed by it. But here's the tricky thing. So Leanne is in the middle of treatment, I would say. Actually, not even. No, she's not. She is. Actually, she's probably more like in the beginning 20%, depending on how you want to slice it. But basically, we've kind of just started treatment. We are in a break right now. We have a 6-week break between radiation and the very heavy rounds of chemo that are coming up, and so. One of the things that I had to keep my eye on, and I do say I because I've mentioned before, Joe and I have a division of labor where he handles all of the logistical insurance, paying bills, just all that. That is a whole job in and of itself. And so Joe would be happy to help me with all of this, but we found that it's best that we each kind of have a specialty here. And my specialty is the medical research. So it really is mostly me and my close friend, ChatGPT, who I have a probably problematic relationship with at this point. So And that's a weird chat GPT too, that we go from, what is the best way to battle group 4 medulloblastoma to like, I want a sparkly candy cane picture of my, I mean, please God, don't ever let my chat GPT get hacked. I'd have to change my name. It would be so embarrassing. Yeah, by the way, I didn't read that whole prompt. I mean, it was like, I want like, I think I had like sexy candy canes or so. I've got to read these chat GPT. I mean, chat GPT is probably like, what is wrong with you? Okay, so enough about sexy candy cane pictures. So one of the things that cannot happen in this kind of situation is you cannot delay treatment. There is a well-worn path of treatment, at least for when certain things should happen. Radiation at this time, chemo at this time, you cannot delay it. It changes prognosis. If it is delayed by even a week, certainly 2 weeks, that it's bad. You can't delay it. So I was in a race to figure out, is this where the experts are? 2, how do I get in touch with them? 3, how do we can we get in? Is this even a possibility? 4, financial questions, like how would all this work? And as often happens with busy hospital systems, you need paperwork going from one place to the next. You need labs, you need test results. Like, they don't just take your word for it. Like, trust me, look at my Instagram. Obviously she has this. I mean, come on. They need real documents. And especially that we were heading into Thanksgiving and then Christmas, there were lags. There were things that I couldn't control, getting things moving to get all of these questions answered. The stress that I have been under these past, it's really been going on for, I guess I would say 6 weeks that I got serious about this, because on the one hand, it's so important, like prognosis changing important, to get in front of the world's experts. But it's also prognosis changing important to not delay treatment. And there were just a lot of days where I felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. It is not an exaggeration to say that it's a life and death issue. This is very serious. And I just felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. And that is the stress that I have been under for 6 weeks trying to figure this out. And this is also where my incredible Patreon community, I laid out, it was November, hang on, I wrote it down. I have it here. Let's see. Why wouldn't I write it somewhere where I can actually find it? What? Because oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? Okay, whatever. Never mind. It was, okay. No, wait, I know where I put it. It was the Patreon post on, I found it November 17th. I knew it. I knew I'd find it. November 17th, that Patreon post. I said, here's what we're looking at. And it was kind of in passing. I didn't make it. This isn't what the whole post was about, but I just said, does anyone have any connections at St. Jude's? I'd like to talk to some of the researchers there. Deanna, one of my Patreon people, she put me in touch with some great people who were able to get the questions answered more quickly and just get the process going. It just, what's the expression? It just greased some wheels, or it just got the process moving to get questions answered more quickly. Again, especially we were headed right into Thanksgiving. If you just fill out a form and wait, there was potential that we could run out of time. And a bunch of people on Patreon had some great contacts and some great suggestions, but Deanna was the one who was able to really just help me figure out the most efficient path to get this done. And I mean, we're so grateful for this. There just aren't words for how grateful we are for this, because again, this is one of the people who we've been talking to over there is pretty arguably the world's expert on this type of cancer. And so we will get the benefits of this person's insights and research. And one of the things we have in our favor here is that this is a well-studied kind of cancer, and there are constant new developments in this field. And that's another reason I needed to find out where is the epicenter of this fight? Where is the home base of this fight happening? And we need to be there because actually, for example, some breaking news related to how you treat this particular type of cancer just came out. It was like October 15th of this year. The study was released, and we didn't end up going that route because it was actually so new that we missed that window for implementing the new advice. But that's the kind of thing that you need to keep your eye on. Is like, did anything come out 2 weeks ago that might change what we're doing here? And you have the benefit of that kind of information when you are at the epicenter of where the research is happening. So again, MD Anderson is fantastic. We love it. It's just that doesn't happen to be where the epicenter of medulloblastoma research is happening. And so we're switching over to where that is. And so Lane and I, at the very end of January, we are moving to Memphis. I'm moving to Memphis.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. Like, I don't know anything about Memphis. Yeah. I have never been there. I don't know anything about it. I've heard that the crimes, I don't think we'll be taking random strolls around Memphis at all based on what I've heard. But yeah, we're packing up and moving to Memphis. And I guess the plan is that we will drive out there. I guess I'll need a car. I mean, these are the things, like, this is crazy. We're moving. So I guess I'll need a car. And then I think me and Joe and my mom will switch who stays with Lane. How often? I don't know. Will we drive or fly? I don't know. I don't know anything except for the fact that in a few weeks from now, we're moving to Memphis. Life it's so wild that I'm going to this city that I don't know anyone in Memphis. I've never been there. I don't have connections with that town. The closest place where I know a bunch of people in Atlanta, which is about 5 hours away. And I know a bunch of people in Nashville, which is about 3 hours away. Other than that, that's as close as it gets. Like we're just going into the complete unknown here, but it's an adventure and we are very excited. And again, somehow we'll be switching. Me and my mom and Joe will be taking turns in Memphis, but Lane will be there for at least 6 months, maybe more. I would guess more, in fact, if I had to guess. And I was telling Caitlin, I think it would be fun to set up a podcast studio. I don't know how big our accommodations are. The incredible place that is St. Jude's, they have accommodations where patients just stay on their premises. So we will have a place to stay. I don't know anything about it, but that would be cool to have our St. Jude's podcast studio, and Caitlin could come out. So I think starting in February, it'll be interesting. I don't know if we'll just try to do multiple episodes when I'm back in town or do a Memphis, Tennessee version of this podcast, but that is what I know for now. When we get out there, we have this full week of really intense appointments and all sorts of tests. They're going to run their own tests and get all of the baseline of where they want to be, which actually brings me to people. Hang on, let me look at my notes here. Yeah, okay. People have asked, how is she doing? Are the treatments working? We don't know, because on December 17th she finished the radiation that was combined with one type of chemo. So that was done December 17th. And then we wait 6 weeks, and then we start the very heavy, very difficult chemo, which is supposedly it's brutal. But you don't want to do follow-up MRI type stuff too soon, because the body can still be irritated just from the radiation, and it can lead to confusing results. Like what is this blip on the image? Is it cancer or is it just irritation from the treatment? So we don't know. We have no idea what we're looking at. Like we haven't had imaging that would, give us eyes on the cancer since October 15th. There haven't been any follow-ups or anything, and that's normal. That's part of there's just no point, because there would be so much irritation. So for those asking, how is it going? Are the treatments working? We do not know. And we'll probably find out. I guess St. Jude's would look into that. So, I don't think they have like a spirit healer, like tells you if the vibe is, I guess they'll figure that out. Now, things with the switching from one massive cancer hospital to another, especially when the other thing is out of state, far away from you. This is a complicated thing. Even when all the parties involved are lovely people and want to help, there is red tape, there are bureaucratic issues. And the thing about being at these cancer centers is every single one of their patients has something life-threatening going on. So you're not necessarily getting to the top of the stack, because everyone's life is horrible at these places. Like, we all have problems here, So you just run into natural, normal delays when you're in a place like this. So I was losing my mind, because I was considering doing a different plan if St. Jude's didn't work out. Again, just related to, this is a pediatric type of cancer, and I just had some question marks. Do we need to be at a facility that is more pediatric focused? There were a lot of question marks. And the not knowing was so stressful and upsetting to me. And then that this is all happening during the holidays. We have Christmas coming up. Keep in mind, I have 6 children, and I'm trying to still make the holidays special for them. And up until December 17th, we were still living in Houston most of the time for the treatments. This was a lot, guys. This was a lot. And by the way, the treatment did not stop for Christmas break. It almost seemed, doesn't it seem like that we stopped to give us a break? No, it had nothing to do with the holidays. That was just God. That just so happened to be when the end of radiation was. So, I was out of my mind with stress and worry, and just really being tortured by the things that I couldn't control without ending up in jail. And just like, it was just questions like, should I call this one place again and see if we can get the ball rolling, or will I seem annoying? And because then if I seem really annoying to them, I've been banned from places before. And I don't want to do that. And I want everyone to be happy, but I need this paperwork moving. And, it's like, these are life and death issues. I mean, literal life and death issues. Like it all just mattered so much. And I know you guys are always so kind to me. I know people would say, Jen, you can't put that kind of pressure on yourself. No, I actually can and should. I can. I mean, guys, let's be real. This is a situation where the decision-making of the patient and in this case, I'm like the patient advocate, it changes outcomes. It significantly changes outcomes. How much you hustle, how much you get on the phone and make that extra phone call. It makes a difference. So this is just one situation where I get a pass for putting pressure on myself because it actually really mattered a lot. And I was really reaching a crescendo of stress, because also we had to move out of the beach house, and I have some kind of undiagnosed neurodivergence that my mom and my aunt did a wonderful job. They got a whole bunch of stuff out of there because they did a week with Leanne. And then when I came back, I was like, I'm sure it'll be fine. This will be nothing for me to, get the stuff out of here. It turns out I was a little bit sick and just like not in a good mood and stressed out. Listen, if you've ever tried to move out of a place where it is you and a disabled person, I do not recommend that. I don't have a lot of experience just like living with people with disabilities. So I just sort of didn't think about the fact that this is two people's stuff and Lane can't do anything to help. And like, I'm helping her and I need to fold up her wheelchair and put it in the back and then put her walker in the back. And there's more of her stuff upstairs that I need to get. I feel like sane people would have thought through that and been like, I bet that's going to be a lot, getting us moved out of the beach house. And maybe I should call one of our Houston friends for help with that. But I didn't do that until it was too late. And it was, you guys, it was so much. I don't know what you were doing the week of December 17th was a Wednesday, but whatever you were doing that week, you were having a better time than I was. For sure. I was at a low point. So a bunch of stuff got delayed and the radiation machines were down on her last day. So actually her treatment got delayed by a day. I kind of like that. Like, let the cancer think we're done. And we're back. Ha ha. Take that, Larry. You thought we were done. No, we're circling back. And so we had plans for the wonderful, incredible Dominican Sisters of Mary, Mother of the Eucharist, to come pray with us. Needless to say, it's not easy to get on their schedule. They teach in our Catholic schools. They're just the most incredible human beings in the world, and they have a lot of obligations. And so when our trip got delayed because radiation got delayed, it turns out that we would be driving back with all the stuff that we had moved out of the beach house on the day that they were supposed to come pray. And I thought about telling them, let's just do it in the new year, whatever. I was over everything. You're in a dark place when you're thinking about canceling on the Dominican Sisters of Mary, Mother of the Eucharist. Like that's a low point in your life. But luckily, I have learned enough over the years to know that when you have an opportunity to be around the finest human beings in the world, like just true saintly people who radiate the love of Christ in a palpable, visceral way when you're around them, you don't cancel. So I just gave them a little heads up. I was like, I'm going to be in bad form. I'm not in a good mood. My house is trashed. But if you guys can accept all this, you can come over. So play this video, Caitlin. This is, again, you can click through, see it on YouTube. How wonderful is this? Play the video. I turned off the sound because my loud mouth would not shut up. I ruined this moment. So pretend I wasn't loudly talking as they walk in. Look at how sweet. They're just, can't you just feel, like, play it again. Can't you just feel the peace and love that radiates from these women? They're just, I love them so much. So I guess it was like 5 sisters came over and they were so pleasant. They just hung out. They just chatted. They just sincerely wanted to know what's going on with us and the other kids. Just great conversationalists. For those of you who sadly are not Catholic, very sad, the Dominican order that they're a part of, inspired by St. Dominic, it's an order of education. And so these women most of them are highly educated. They've got a couple of electrical engineers in the group. Yeah. For a while, I think this was the order that like the valedictorian of Harvard joined them. Ooh. I mean, they're all about learning and education and stuff like that. So they're just the most fascinating, saintly people. So then now show the picture of them with Lane. Again, you can see this picture on YouTube. Lane didn't wear a scarf or a hat or anything. She's just rocking the bald look. I think it looks amazing. I think it looks iconic. And yeah, there she is with the 5 sisters who came to pray with us. So after they left was when I really reached the crescendo of my stress about St. Jude's. We were running out of time. And it's as high stakes as anything ever gets in life. This question of being around experts versus not delaying treatment versus is there a plan C if this doesn't work out? I couldn't sleep. I was so upset. So the Dominican sisters came and prayed. I'm still stressed out. The next morning is when everything went through with St. Jude's. And when I say everything, like we got the patient ID, like, because that's when you know it's legit. When they're like, this is your patient ID number. Everything went through. It's like the doors just opened. These doors that had been stuck that I was like pounding, it just opened. Do you think that's a coincidence? Do you think that the Dominican sisters come and pray with us and it's just, and the doors just open? Like it's incredible. So they are incredible. I adore them. When the Comedy Millions come in, I'm just like, I'm going to give them so much money, just like 6-figure checks every day. That'll just be my hobby, is like sending money to the Dominican sisters. So here is, okay. By the way, I think I forgot to say, I will choose in this episode before we wrap up, I will choose a word of the year and a saint of the year live on this episode, but we'll get to that in a minute. One of the things I wanted to share with you guys is, so as I've been working on all this, just the St. Jude stuff and the finishing radiation and heading into this really hard chemo, one of the things I did not realize about being in a crisis situation like this, that I want you to tuck away. Remember this. If I hope that you're never in a crisis situation like this. Again, maybe it'll be for something positive. Maybe it'll be for something that's not as big of a deal. But just tuck this away. If you ever find yourself in a, like, you get crazy news that just knocks you on your butt and you don't, it's just like like a life before and after moment that you got that news. One of the things I wish people had warned me about is your problems will snowball. And it's, I don't say that to be depressing, like you don't know how bad it's going to get, but it's, there's like, I wish I'd known because it can feel like fate is against you. It can feel like, my wonderful mother-in-law who, always a believer, always a good Christian woman, but she had an interesting relationship to God and faith. And when she would be having a bad day, she'd be kicking and screaming, and she would occasionally scream, "God's not on my side." And I was a new Catholic at the time. And so I would give her these theology lectures like, well, what you don't, God actually loves everyone and God is always on your side. And now I'm like, God's not on my side. Like, I totally see how you get there. Life hits you upside the head a few times. I very much see where you get there. And I think it would help me not have those moments of feeling utterly abandoned by God. If I had just prepared myself that when you get hit with the one big bad thing, there is a ripple effect where it's hard to be on top of other areas of your life. And so other problems will crop up there. And it is not God abandoning you. It's not, you've not been cursed. It's not anything like that. It's just a logical result of a lot of your time and attention is going to this one area. And so some problems are going to crop up in the other areas. Here's a moment where I wish I had considered that, because in the past, since that December 17th, the last day of radiation, I have had 2 days where I had a complete mental breakdown. And this is why there was not a podcast episode last week, because one of these breakdowns happened right when Caitlin and I would normally be planning when to record. And I'm sure I sent a very delicately worded text saying I didn't quite feel up to doing the old podcast this week. Okay, so here's the first thing that happened. So once again, I have probably against my better judgment decided to share with you two video messages that I left for my friend Leah Darrow. We send each other video messages. That's how we keep in touch. So what's crazy is that this whole cancer saga has largely been captured on video. I mean, I should like make a movie out of my messages to Leah. I mean, a couple of my major crying breakdowns and stuff have been like I was sending her messages. Okay, so this one, to set it up, everything was falling apart this one day. This was before we prayed with the sisters. Everything was going wrong. So in the first video, this was midday, I was running errands, I was at the grocery store, and the point I was making to Leah was that I was done. Like, no more problems. I maxed out. Like, I can't. I will not accept one more problem in my life. Everything is terrible and everything's falling apart and I'm done. So I thought that my daughter, Pammy, number 5 of 6, I thought that there was a problem with a party she was at. I thought what I was hearing is that like maybe she had misbehaved, which would seem unlikely, but it just seemed like there was a problem, but I didn't have details. Now, it turns out it was totally fine. I just misunderstood, but I did not know that at the time. So here was the message that I left for Leah while walking through the store, just setting up like, I'm done with problems. Like, this doesn't even involve me if there is a problem at this party. So play the first one, Caitlin. So I feel like there has to be drama that this ended early, but guess who that doesn't involve? Leah. Don't care. It could be like Pammy was dealing drugs at the party, so we shut it down. It'd be like, I just hope she saves some for me. That's all I care about. I was walking through people were looking at me. That's how much I didn't care. And I said some other stuff too that I cut out that had people like, I didn't care. I just didn't care. So right after that message, I got back in the car and I was talking about something else. I think I was talking about, it doesn't matter. I was talking about something else. This one I had to bleep. Did not watch my language on this. Listened. This was 10 minutes after my first message saying, I'm done with problems. I'm done. Nope. No more problems can come to me today because I'm done. Listen to what happened next. He can just lean into the fact that his brain is in a healing. Oh, I swear to God, Leah. My car died. Okay, it is worth this having happened for the joy that it brings Caitlin. It's just like it's so okay. My car dies right after that. I was stopped at a light. It's time to go. My car died. It just died. I want to play it again, Caitlin. Just for this is my we didn't exchange gifts this year, Caitlin. We're playing it again. Merry Christmas. This is my gift to you. He can just lean into the fact that his brain is in a healing. Oh, I swear to God. Every time. My car died. Is that? I mean, you guys.
I don't know why it's so
well, also it's so sudden that I'm like, oh shit. And then you hear, okay, so what you don't hear, because I stopped the recording too soon, cars are honking at me and angry at me, and I wanted to lean out the window and be like, we have cancer, like just make them feel like the worst people in the world. You're honking at a cancer family. Oh my gosh. That's when I was like, God's not on my side. He's not on my side. He hates me. God has abandoned me. I mean, it's just the emotion that you're hit with. And then, oh, do you think I'm done? I'm not done. So then I was late on my Christmas shopping because of moving out of Houston, the end of radiation, which got delayed. Radiation actually ended a day later because the machines were down and that threw everything off. Also getting Lane settled back in at home. Keep in mind, she can't walk. I mean, she can get around a little bit with a walker, but I mean, she needs assistance with everything. And so just kind of helping like turn our house into an accessible place now that she's home for a little bit of a longer period. So with all of that, I got the Christmas shopping done late. Joe had very kindly helped me. He'd ordered just a few gifts, but the kind of bulk of the, the real mom, putting some loving effort into the gifts. I did that, and I was so careful. I spent hours on this. It took much more time than usual because I had to get things that would ship in time. And I carefully chose everything that would be here by December 22nd. I decided that was my cutoff to give it a little buffer. Just the 24th was just too much because I was like, how crazy would it be if we had a Christmas present that didn't arrive? So I decided December 22nd was the cutoff. And so many times I would find the perfect thing, but the color that she really likes, that one won't arrive until the 26th. Okay, well, now back to the drawing board. Find something different. It was like an entire afternoon and most of an evening that I put into that. So that was all done. And then it was actually shortly after my car died. I checked Amazon. I got some weird notice from Amazon. I pulled up Amazon. Look at this. This is also on YouTube. Look at this.
That's terrible.
What is my life? Can someone, what is my life? I demand to know. Look at this. Everything, guys, everything. Arriving December 30th. That's what I screenshot right here. Arriving. But by the way, as of this recording, actually, as of when you hear this, no, I guess you'll hear it the day after we finally get our Christmas gifts. As of this recording, we still don't have the Christmas gifts. There were like this little paltry handful of things under the tree. One of my kids had nothing under the tree. Nothing. And I was like, that's symbolic. We get nothing this year, guys. We get nothing. Welcome to 2025, son, where you get nothing. There is no Christmas around here. You guys. So that was my second mental break. When I saw that the delivery date had changed, and it wasn't, it was largely that we'd have basically nothing on Christmas morning. But it was also that it was also that I had spent so much time getting that December 22nd deadline. Because it was seriously probably 3 or 4 hours extra because there are 8 people in my family plus my mom, 9. So it's not that I got so many things for so many people, but there were just so many dead ends of, my mom would love this. Oh, won't get here in time. My mom would love this. Oh, won't get here in time. So and I'm not good at shopping in person. If that's, you want to talk about a mental breakdown. There's no way. That did not make sense. So it was also just that was time I didn't have because this was also around the time that we were getting into St. Jude's, but to get everything set up, there is so much paperwork and there was so much to do on my end that I gladly, joyfully, happily did. But I did not have 4 extra hours to mess around with getting all these presents that would arrive on December 22nd just for the delivery date to be changed. Now, I'm always very careful about putting brands on blast. I try not to, because you guys know I'm neurodivergent. I'm always like, was it my, okay. I think that Amazon messed something up. I don't think they changed, like they retroactively changed the date. I think what happened was I changed. Okay. So I know for sure that when everything was in my cart, you know how it'll, depending on who's shipping it, like, are you getting it from this part of China or another part of China? I'm kidding. But depending on who's shipping it, it'll break it up by this group of things will arrive on this day. This will arrive on this day. I systematically went through every single one. And I did the, yes, I'll pay $2.99 to make sure it's here by December 22nd and all that. I for sure did that. Now, then at the last minute, I changed the payment method. And I glanced at it again, but there is a possibility. I'd say there's a 50-50 chance. After I changed the payment method, did I not look closely enough at the delivery dates? And is that what happened? Maybe. Or did Amazon just change all the dates? I'm actually not sure, but that's why I'm not starting like a massive anti-Jeff Bezos campaign, because this might have been 50-50. Although I will say they should not change shipping when you change how you pay for things. But in my defense, I was so careful about nailing that shipping date, and it was definitely locked in when I first looked at the end screen of that cart. So that was another complete and total emotional breakdown that I had. And it really, I mean, my poor kid, like when we were handing out presents, like a couple people did have some things. And then my son is just sitting there. There's nothing for him on Christmas. And if anyone wants to jump in and say, Jen, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for you to teach your kids the real meaning of the season. Or if you'd like to say, that's why we don't do gifts on Christmas. We do one gift, and we do a book, a Catholic book. And that's all we do, because in our family, we keep our eyes set on the Lord at Christmas. If you'd like to share those comments, don't just keep it to YouTube. Say that to my face. So that I can kick you in the shins in person. That would be, I'd love that. If you would just let me have that moment of say that to my face and see how I react. When you have a bunch of kids who are like dealing with a sibling's cancer diagnosis and just, yeah, I wanted presents under the tree, guys. I wanted presents under the tree, and we did not get that because the shipping dates got messed up. And the point is that when you are in a crisis, things like this will happen. The car broke down. I mean, is it because God has abandoned it? Maybe. I mean, probably not. It is probably just because I did know that. I mean, this car, it has like 160,000 miles on it. I knew that there were some things that we should probably have looked at. And if we weren't battling cancer, I probably would have gotten that done. And if we weren't battling cancer, then I would have done the Christmas shopping much earlier, probably. I mean, actually, being honest, probably. But that's what happens is your time and energy and your focus is so going to one area that the other areas can slip a little bit. And then you have these problems that you don't usually have cropping up in those areas. And it can really give you the feeling that your life is collapsing around you. You could very easily tell yourself that story, that everything is falling apart. And that is why I wish someone had told me that. I wish someone had, and I don't know how you convey that, like, hey, so you've had a big cancer diagnosis. Listen, it gets worse. Like, I don't know how you tell that to people in a way that's not depressing, but it would have helped me not feel like my entire life was collapsing when the car broke down. And then I think it might have been the same day, if not the next day, that I found out that we'd have an empty Christmas tree on Christmas morning. If I had just been able to say, okay, this is that thing. This is the ripple effect of the one crisis leads to other smaller crises. I mean, I still would have been livid and crying, but I think it would have felt slightly less like fate is against me and my entire life is collapsing at the seams. By the way, another thing that came up around this time is that my youngest, my son, he'd always wanted to go camping, and he and Joe had not had a chance to make that happen. And they talked about maybe him doing it right after he got out of school for Christmas break, that he and Joe could go just do a few days of camping somewhere. And, Joe and I talked about it, and we said, we just realized that this crisis has taught us that you really don't know what's going to happen in the future. And when you have a chance to do something, to get out there, to make memories and experience life, you need to do it, even if it doesn't seem like it's the perfect time, because you don't know what's coming around the corner. So Joe and our youngest, they did it. They went camping in the days leading up to Christmas, and that was a huge mistake. I retract that lesson. That was way too chaotic for Joe to be gone, because also I couldn't even get in touch with him. I hadn't really foreseen how out of cell phone service range he would be. So I was like handling all this alone, because we were trying to do the like, you only live once, go for it, go camping. And I was like, oh, mistake. Nope. Just sit here in the misery. How about that? Don't make memories. Sit and be miserable. That is the lesson that I have learned from 2025. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Do I have time? All right. People are doing, all right, I'll choose a saint and a word at the very end of this mess. People are they're playing videos that they created at the beginning of this year, talking to themselves in the future, which would be now. Okay, let me explain. Okay, people you'll record a video, let's say on January 1st of 2025, you recorded a video talking to yourself today. And so now they do split screen videos where it is today them reacting to the them of a year ago. So I found one. This gal seems so sweet. She has a cool name. It's Briony, I think is the Bryony, Briony Oakley on Instagram. And I just found this. I thought it was a sweet idea. So this is the voice that you hear speaking is her 1 year ago at the very beginning of 2025. And then there's a split screen where she's kind of nodding yes or no, reacting to herself from a year ago. She seems very sweet, very cute idea. So let's take a listen.
So it's the 30th of January, 2025. I just wanted to put one of these videos together to see what I achieved within this year and whether I've achieved everything that I'd like to have. So firstly, did we move to Spain? Did we spend the summer in Spain? Did we learn Spanish?
No.
Did we get back on a scooter in Bali? Did we take lessons and get back and conquer our fear? Did we watch Mum walk down the aisle and cry our eyes out?
Yes.
Did we meet anyone that changed our life this year?
Oh,
maybe a Spanish singer.
All right, pause it, Caitlin. So you get the idea. I'd like to do one. You know what? I could do one. Just here on this podcast. We could just save this and I can watch it a year from now. We can do that. Let's see. So we'll just start and then we can clip this and I can react to it a year from now. I made some notes here, some questions I have for myself a year from now. So, okay. Hello, Jen of the beginning of 2027. This is Jen at the beginning of 2026. I wonder where we've been this year. Did we assault anyone verbally or physically? Did they deserve it? Yeah, that tracks. Did anything we said on the podcast get us in any trouble this year? Did it end business or personal relationships? Was the year filled with a bunch of problems that were big, but also chaotic and bizarre and weird? Yes. Oh, crazy. Jen of 2027. Did we finally get the comedy millions? No. Okay. Do Do our enemies with half of our talent and work ethics, are they still way more successful? Yeah, okay. Did we spend too much money at Sephora? Are we still saying that this year is going to be our year? Were we injured in any gang violence in Memphis? I'm curious because what I've heard, I mean, well, many blessings to you. That this one's going to be your year, Jen. This 2027, I feel it. It's happening in 2026 or in 2027. Mwah. Kisses from Jen. 2026, Jen. There you go. I think
That's great.
All right, now let's end this train wreck with. Okay, we can actually do this live. I had Caitlin figure out how to pull up websites here on our little recording software here. So Caitlin is actually going to choose my. Okay, so can you pull up the word of the year thing on here?
I have word of the year. I don't have the saint one yet.
Well, you can just type it in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So I'm choosing a word for 2026. Caitlin's actually choosing it for me. Oh, I disappeared. That's fine. You can just see that. I don't care. Okay. So what's my word? I don't get, you don't have to see me. I mean, they get the idea. Okay. Here we go. It's happening. Oh!
That's not, no.
I hate myself for creating this thing. Oh, this is so funny. Okay, for those of you listening on audio, it's jump. Jump off to. I'll get banned from YouTube. You can't talk about self-harm on YouTube. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Jump. Okay. You truly can't beat that. There's my word for the year. And then now I will fill while Caitlin pulls up. It's like, oh, I don't even know what the website is. It's Saints. Yeah. No. Oh, yeah. Sorry. This is so disorganized. Okay.
Oh, no.
Do we not have an internet connection?
No, we do.
This is my website. You guys know I programmed this and I can't find it. Okay, it's saintsnamegenerator.com. There. Oh, and the word of the year is wordoftheyear.me, M-E. Those are all hand programmed by me. Like I did it by hand. Every line of code I wrote myself by hand. This program could make it easier to bring up websites. All right, if it can't, can we get it?
We should be able to.
I hope you guys are fast forwarding here.
No, maybe not.
No? Okay. Here.
Well, it's just delayed.
It's fine. All right, let's do it. All right, just choose a great saint for me to go with the word jump. Saint Guntramus? What is he the patron of? Can you read that?
Divorced people, guardians, reformed murderers. Okay, wait. Yeah.
Divorced people. I mean, I don't, Joe and I are doing fine. But guardians is funny because I am like Leanne's guardian. And then what? Yeah. Reformed murderers?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, with the way things are going in my life, it's just the word reformed that's funny to me. Like, why would I stop? That's incredible. We'll say, and what's his feast day? March what?
28th.
March 28th. Okay. Saint Guntramus.
Gramtramnus.
Okay, we don't
I
know.
got nothing.
Yeah. Well, jump is my word of the year. Saint, whatever, the patron saint of reformed murderers, guardians, and divorced people. So we are headed into another fine year here in 2026, full of just blessings, joy, and murdering, but being reformed about it. So I cannot wait to join you for another chaotic year. Get on the Patreon, patreon.com/thisisjen. And we will be back hopefully next week here on the Jen Fulwiler Show.